Part two is building trust within your marketing. I think a lot of times we get so caught up on trying to jump to the sales, which is the next episode, guys. We get so caught up in trying to do marketing, sales, boom, and there's no in between. But really what we've discovered is that the marketing is in the value that you're providing to your customers. And that is the key to marketing properly. It should really be about 80% value, 20% of the sales. And that breakdown will help you with building trust and providing value. This part two, we've got a question that says, what are the top 5 questions that your customers are asking? And this really when you really think about this, it gets you to really write down the issues and the problems that you need to solve for your customers based on what they're asking. And that's the steps that we've taken at MakerFlo to really understand how we can provide value to our customers. So you want to go over some of the examples that we have?
Yeah. Oh, you want me to?
Yeah. Wow.
Oh. And the examples we've really provided, it's not going to really make a lot of sense in your business, but we wanted to give you our perspective, right? So the top 5 questions for us that customers ask, we've just put on here because this is important, because we want to build trust by making sure that we're solving your problems, so you know that we're listening to you. That's a form of building trust, that, wow, these guys actually have their ears open and they just don't want me to sell a product. They actually want to solve my problem. And that's what we're all about. We're not going to come out with products and stuff that we just feel like coming out with just because we want to sell a product, right? So for example, what MakerFlo is known for is premium gifts that are packaged well, because we saw that people always going, these products, like, I have to go buy a box, or how do I sell this? I can't price this well enough. And inherently we figured out that we just need to package it better, right? We listen to you guys. And so now the biggest questions are, do you have laser settings? How to do a test grid when I have a new material on my new machine? How to get more traffic for business and revenue, which we get asked that quite a bit. Do you have free jigs and resources? That's a big question, especially with all these new products that we're coming out with that are not readily available. And how do I price my products? So some of these questions we're solving. For example, laser settings. We started adding laser settings to almost all our products. So if you just scroll down, you'll see laser settings there. How to do a test grid, working on it. How to get more traffic for business and revenue. We have something called MakerFlo Pro. If you go to our website, under there are a bunch of resources, including blog articles, checklists, guides, cold email scripts, how to start your business, all those kinds of things. We have a whole resource center that we build, and we actually just did a live on this that should be available on MakerFlo last week. So we've already listened to you guys on what you guys need. We've provided that, right? Do you have free jigs and resources? I just went over that, and we're actually deploying one of our free jigs, our first free jigs, next Tuesday, that we're going to be putting out a product, a brand new product, and providing the jig for it. Now, I know a lot of people do it, but I actually don't like how they do it. So this jig that we're going to have is going to be, it's going to be different. It's going to be played out. I'm actually personally doing it. So I'm going to make sure that it's a jig that works on your F1, your Ultra, if you have a bigger machine, and it's not just 4 lines. So it's going to be more than that. So it's going to be awesome. I'm super excited about doing this for the first time next Tuesday. So make sure you come to the live on Tuesdays at 4:30, because we have amazing things that we're always giving away, like jigs and resources. And the last one is, how do I price my products? So one thing we did do is we added the MSRP pricing on all our products. So if you go to any product, you'll go down, there's a black box, and we actually have the MSRP pricing listed, because that's one of the number one product questions we get asked is, how should I price? So as you can see, we're tackling questions. We're listening to you guys. We're in Facebook groups. We're on these lives. If you ever see my eyes shift off the camera, I'm incessantly after comments to see what the problems are, because even if Sam may not catch it, or even if Danny might not think it's important, or if Marc might just be like, oh no, no, I want to catch every single question, problem, issue. That way it goes as one of the questions, and it's something that I can solve for you. Because guess what? If we can work together, and if you know that we have your best interest in mind, it's more likely that you're going to come back and be a customer of MakerFlo, right? And so I definitely want to build that trust and make sure that you understand that we're listening and we are servicing you as a business.
Yeah. let's try to fill in some of these questions and go through it like a MakerFlo customer may be going through right now on the sheet.
Okay.
So the top 5 questions your customers ask. What are they asking on social media? What are they asking on emails? What are they asking in person? Think of every question that your customer asks, whether you might think it's the silliest thing ever, and that's obvious. That's a clue for you to write that down and figure out how you're solving that problem and how that's going to double down to your content and the type of content you're putting into your marketing. I don't know if you have any in mind, but I wrote down when we were doing tons and tons of tumblers back in the day, a lot of customers would ask, how long does it hold ice? How many times you get asked that? How long, because everyone markets different things. How long does it hold ice, right? Yeah. And so that's the question I wrote down. And how does that solve their problem? It solves their problem because those times they go out and run errands, they leave their tumbler in the car in the hot heat, and the ice is still there.
Yeah.
So boom, that gives you an idea of creating marketing content around that tumbler and how long it's really holding ice. Grab a time clock, do a time lapse of that ice sitting in that tumbler, show it in the hot car. And that's a key to your marketing and building trust that your products are quality and things last.
Yeah, that's a brilliant example. Yeah. And honestly, a video on that would convince so many people, wow, this is a quality product. This is the kind of product that I want to give to my client. I want to put it in a housewarming gift that I might want to give that athlete or that graduate or that this or that, because it's a quality product, right? And it's as simple as, and I feel like most of the times, you know this.
Yeah.
This is not rocket science. This is nothing new that Marc just came up with.
But sometimes we get the silliest questions at MakerFlo, sometimes on email, and it's, wow, really? Like we're not answering that question on social media and everywhere else on our website. It gives us the content ideas to market that product even better.
Yeah. I think it's almost a slap in our face when we get questions like, really? You don't know this? And then you go to the listing and you're like, oh my gosh, it's because I've been working with this product 24/7. I feel like it should be known. But how is a customer supposed to know that?
It's like tribal knowledge, but
it's
just
not.
Because you've been working on it for so long, it's not new to you, but it's totally new to somebody else.
Absolutely. And I think that's one of the best things too, is that one of the best things is when we take something to someone and we're like, hey, ask me questions about this. And they ask you these questions. We're like, I didn't even think of that. Right? And I think that's why this exercise is so important.
Exactly.
Right? But questions could be like, if you guys are getting a lot of questions on do you have wholesale pricing? Do you give discounts? Include all those. Right? You need to make sure that you're including those questions here because you need to have an answer for that. And I'm not saying you need to the answer doesn't need to be, yes, I have discounts. It could be that, no, I don't have discounts. And that's one of the questions that we get asked a lot is, okay, does MakerFlo have these additional discounts? And we will say, no, we don't have discounts, right? We will instead show you how much value we have. If you ask us, do you have discounts? I'll show you MakerFlo Pro. I'll show you the premium packaging. I will show you the premium laserette that we came out, right? I will show you X, Y, and Z on why it's better to have a premium blank versus an additional 5% off. And that's why this section is so important.
Yeah. And these questions really set up your content foundation and to make your business just the foundation of your business altogether, and the questions people are always asking, so they don't have to ask them anymore.
Yeah.
And then you move on to deeper questions and solving deeper problems and having deeper solutions for your products, and that's how your business evolves and your products evolve.
Yeah.
So document and create content around these questions to start your marketing campaigns.
Absolutely. Your customer will feel heard.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. What's next on this one?
I think we kind of covered this, but how do you solve their problem, right? So once you understand their problem is how you solve their problem. And then what educational content would you create? So I think this kind of goes hand in hand. Once you know the questions, you need to educate your customer, right? And for us, the educational content is so many things.
Yeah.
It's an incredible amount of things, right? But for you, it might be totally different. So for example, the educational content that might work for you, if you get the Maker Twist tumbler, the educational content might be, hey, how is this tumbler ambidextrous? How can you get a different handle and a different tumbler color and make a two-tone color tumbler? Like Marc said, do an ice test. And it would be so cool if you show a video on how proud you are. It would be great if you showed your customer how proud you are of the blanks that you're getting engraving and selling to them, right? And you educate them on the blanks, on your business, on the machines you're using, on your behind the scenes, all these things. And you build that trust and the relationship without seeing them. And I think this is where marketing and social media plays a vital role in building trust.
Yeah, really, people buy when they're ready. they don't buy when you want them to buy, which is why it's so important to have educational marketing content to always stay top of mind and as the expert in that industry.
Yeah.
So when that person is ready to buy, they're going to relate back to your educational content, because of the 80-20 rule. 80% was education, 20% was selling. And you're not always throwing sales and discounts and promotions of buy down their throat.
Yes.
You're really creating and building that trust and providing value in your marketing plan that creates the perfect customer.
Yeah. I think that's brilliant, because I'm going to combine two things together. It's the lesson, the MakerFlo's lesson about education and exactly what you said versus selling, right?
Yeah.
And we do our best to sell more blanks by educating you guys about the blanks, right? So I want you guys to, if you guys are confused on this section, I want you guys to think about this. If you guys are in Catherine's group, Sumita's group, Michael Mullen's group, Josh Perry, or any of these influencers that you might follow, okay? I want you guys to think of yourselves first, and if you're on social media, and I want you to think about them, okay? And what I want you to ask yourself is, have you ever been in their group and they posted something and without thinking, you clicked and you bought it? Versus if you posted something on your business page and you got no clicks, right? That is the difference between formulating trust between you and your customer. Because what happens there is these influencers, and I hate calling them that, but these business owners, these educators have spent a lot of time educating you on their products, that you've built this trust that they're driving you in the right direction. So you don't think twice when they post a link. When they post that link, you know that they have your best interest in mind. You'll click the link and you'll purchase whatever it is that they've linked, right? And they always have a video attached showing you how to do it so you feel more comfortable, right? I think Daryl Aspen is one that does a great job of that. He always posts a tutorial on his cut files. He always has beautiful images, and he almost gives you, here's a final, here's how to do it. And that builds trust over time, because you have the confidence that he has your interest in mind, which is creating this product easily for profitability, right? And if you in your business, if you're only putting up sales and you have no content, you're not educating your customers, and you're wondering why no one's interacting, is because you haven't built a relationship with your customer.